Good morning, afternoon, or evening, dear beings. My name is Echo here at Our Echo Yoga. I feel very calm this morning. I feel really grateful. I am in Berlin, grounding, and it's not generally the city that I feel grounded in, but it's so pleasurable when I'm able to find myself deeply rooted and grounded in my practice in the middle of a city, which brings so much energy. And today's practice is inspired by, and again, I say this often, like what is very alive for me in this moment, because really I'm not able to share authentically anything, any practice authentically unless it's occurring, presently in my own body. So the reason that I speak to that, and the invitation of today's practice, is of building intuition, of building, and not even building, of recognizing the intelligence that is the human body, the form, of awakening our clairvoyance, of awakening our intuition, of awakening and remembering our proprioception, the ways in which we move in our body. These intelligence that have us breathe when we're not aware that we're breathing, or walking and balancing. So much proprioception has to happen for us to balance consistently in the world. And for our eyes to focus, outside of us, and to recognize the world and to depict and to curate these poetic acts of nature. And the reason that this feels really important to me is the time that this practice is being shared is like crystallized, and again, in the timeless quality of paradox in the human experience, where there is so much illusion and distortion in what we receive through these screens that we have. And they are magic. They can bring us practices that bring us deeper into our sentience, but they can also deliver us false truths, false prophecies. We can, through what we digest and what we choose to show ourselves through the screen, through technology, we begin to download certain programs of what we believe ourselves to be and what we believe ourselves not to be. And the way that I feel that we can truly download, the correct programs for ourselves, is to really know ourselves, to really know what it feels like to be in our body, what intuition feels like and what fear feels like, what confidence feels like and what insecurity feels like. And we're not going to be able to think ourselves into that space. We're going to have to descend deep into the body, drop in deeply into our breath, and to really feel ourselves. So I encourage you to sit up straight, however straight looks like in your body. Relax the shoulders, and let's bring a hand to the belly. You might even want to move it beneath the clothes so that you could touch the skin. Hand to the heart. And connecting with your breath, so letting the belly bulb open here. Deep breaths in through the belly. Breath through the nostrils, but that opening through the belly. And let the chest expand as well. So continue to breathe. Let the inhale inflate the stomach, move up through the diaphragm and across the chest before exhaling out. Let's make a little bit of sound with our voices. So it can be a hum in the back of the throat on an exhale, or a or just like an honest sigh out. It doesn't have to be loud and exaggerated. So let's take 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale. I let my body rock back and forth a little bit as I do this. Let this soften your protective mechanisms. Again, inhale. One more. And feel your body just rocking forward and back a bit. It can be micro. Maybe let's take two more sounds on the exhale. Find a song in the back of your throat. And we find some stillness and some silence. So becoming our own mothers, cradling ourselves in sound, softness. Connecting with that motherly quality, the feminine in each of us, no matter the way that our body looks. Connecting to that soft principle that is connected to the oceanic existence that lives within us, that psychic field, that intuitive field, that clairvoyant field. When we are connected to those waters, we are so less misguided. We are not easily fooled. We listen, but with discernment, and we know our truths. So may we soften in this practice. Follow the breaths. Make this practice yours. So don't follow me rigidly. Whatever I offer, move at your own pace and cadence. Connect with your heart, with your breath, and anything that anyone ever offers you. Allow yourself to offer it to yourself through your own intuitive field and vision and channel, so that you become so fiercely trusting of your choices and your path. So do not follow my path. Let my path lead you deeper to your own. What is right for me is not right for you, and anyone tells you otherwise, be discerning about how deeply and for how long you follow. Let's open the eyes, come into the space, knees out to the side, ankles crossed, and we're going to begin to make slow circles. So bringing the chest forward, to the side. You can dip the chest down, you can bend into the elbows, get into the side bodies. And let this feel good. So I notice when I go to yoga practices and studios, which I love because I love to be guided. I love to be guided. But I do not follow rigidly. And what I notice in a lot of yoga practices, different lineages, there's a dogmatic, a very strict way of doing things. And this doesn't work for me. And I allow that to be known. I move in my own way. I follow, but I follow with my own flavor. So let's move in the opposite direction. And I see the metaphor, the physical metaphor, even in our spiritual practices, when we follow them dogmatically because they worked for some old Indian guru master 5,000 years ago. When we get so set on how the word is said in Sanskrit and doing it exactly the way that the master tells us to, we are like Siddhartha, the story of Buddha, who's stuck in his Brahmin caste and decides to leave, decides to make all the mistakes, the trials and tribulations, to go out on his own. And that's what we need these days. We need our young Siddharthas to not be afraid to make mistakes and do things a little bit differently. So let yourself Be guided by something internal. Let's come back up to center. And stay anchored in the breath. Take an inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, softly, hands to heart. So we're softening the body, soften so it can be receptive. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. Take your time, not just swinging them up really fast because I tell you to do it. And exhale, softly bringing them down. The goal is not to get them to the heart. It's to enjoy the journey. So let's inhale, reach up. Enjoying the journey. Exhale, twist to the right. Right hand softly down behind you, left hand on the right knee. Lengthen through the chest. And again, find where your spine wants to go. You might not twist as far back as me. That is perfectly fine. Where does your body want to go? Are there any little micro pulses that it wants to take? Where can you soften the face, the shoulders? And really become alive in the breath. Let's inhale, reach the arms up through center. Exhale, twist to the left. And again, find your place. Each side is going to be a little bit different, most likely. We've got asymmetries in the body. Let's stay anchored in the breath, soften the face, soften the mind. And listen. Listen to yourself. Somewhere deep inside. Let's take an inhale. Keep the right hand where it is. Reach the left arm up and overhead. And you can bring the back of the right palm to the outside of the left knee. This might help you open up a little bit more. You can look up towards the left. And let's switch sides. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, left arm down. Left, the back of the left palm to the right thigh. Right arm stretching up and over. Nice and long through the right side body. And inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands to the front of the knees. So we're going to softly pull at the front of the knees. Inhale, pull the chest forward. It doesn't need to be overly exaggerated. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, round in and move slowly. Inhale, come forward, open the heart, look up. And exhale, round in. And continue at your own cadence. Find a cadence that feels good for your body. We want our bodies to trust us. When we fill them with sugary foods and coffee, and we're constantly rushing from one thing to the next, and we're not listening to our inner grief, our pain, parts of our body begin to shut down and not trust us. So we're gaining back access to all the energy that lives within us. Let's come back to center. We're going to come into tabletop position, all fours. This is where I take a sip of my tea. And actually, we're going to tuck the toes, big toes together. Sit back onto the heels. I'm not doing this just because I want to drink tea. It's helpful. But sitting back onto the heels, make sure even the pinky toe is tucked under. This is the kind of yoga I like, where nobody's telling me I'm not allowed to drink tea. And then I can move at my own pace. Sitting up tall, relax the shoulders. And again, check into the muscles in the face. Are you scrunching the forehead? Are you scrunching the jaw? Are you tight-lipped? Sometimes I just wash my fingers down my face to soften. If I'm having a mental day and I have a lot to do, I use both hands. They remind me of my grandmother when she used to touch me with soft fingertips and just outline my face and say, eyebrows, cheekbones, nose, lips. And it was just so softening for me. It also distracts me from the heat rising in my ankles. So really stay with this, listen internally, soften into the breath. Let the heat rise through the body and nourish. And notice your capacity for discomfort. This practice is a metaphor, it's a physical metaphor to learn to grow your capacity for discomfort. But discomfort for your own good, for your growth, for your choices, not to sit with society's discomfort and make yourself even more uncomfortable. But how can we sit in the fire of change and patience? One more breath. Exhale, hands to the earth, and begin to pat the feet out behind you. And sit back onto the heels, fingertips behind you, and lift the knees. A favorite, if you've been practicing with me, you'll know this one. Let's go ahead and come forward onto the hands and knees, tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Relax the shoulders, press in through the entirety of the palms, heels back into the earth. Let's take an inhale, knees to the earth, let the belly drop, open the chest. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, lift the knees, press back, downward facing dog, finding a wave. Inhale, come forward, knees come down, belly drops, open the chest. Exhale, round in, chin to chest, lift the knees, press back, downward facing dog, following the breath. Inhale, forward and down, find that back bend. And exhale, round in on yourself, lift the hips, press back. A few more, nice and slow and strong. Take your time, move at your own cadence. Back to downward facing dog. Press firmly into the palms, press down through the heels, pause here. Nice and long and strong through all planes of the body. Let's take an inhale, bend the knees and slowly begin to walk the feet. You might even notice as we slow down and tune in and really focus on every breath, every exhalation, folding in, maybe taking opposite elbows, feet hip width distance. Our mind begins to clear sometimes. Maybe you're quite busy-minded today, that's okay. But so much of our suffering comes from thinking about what's happened in the past or what may happen in the future. And when things are just too much, if we can lean back, as I've said a few times before, and just surrender to the mystery of life and focus on our breath of like, all I've got to do in this moment is just breathe. And then I'm going to exhale. And then I'm going to breathe. And then I'm going to exhale. And I'm going to keep doing that until I can feel my body. And I can feel the truth
of what needs to happen next. Not what I want, but what needs to happen next. And maybe that's a nap or tea, or maybe it's to put that sugary cookie down or go for a walk. But the truth is so close. It's just beyond a few inhalations and exhalations that we're back into balance. So trust yourself. You are the best teacher you will ever have. Hands to the earth. Take the feet wide, sink the hips down, yogi squat. And I must say, when I say that you are the best teacher you've ever had, that is a possibility. But when we give in to illusions and we lead by fear and we take what's outside of us and we believe it, we watch the news, we get caught up in scrolling, we fall to our doubts, our insecurity, jealousy, rage, anger. We give more power to those voices in us that say we can't than the power of the voices in us that say we can. So it's very important to know who you're listening to. What are you watching? What are you telling yourself? And again, if you can just focus on the breath. Right now I'm going to breathe in. And then I'm going to breathe out. And I'm going to keep doing that until the truth reveals itself to me of what needs to happen next, not what wants to happen next. Let's bring our hands behind us. Sit back. Stretch the legs out in front of you. Let's take an inhale for Dandasana. Sit up nice and tall. And exhale, slowly fold forward. If you need a couch cushion or some blocks, if your back is rounding too much here, I encourage you to stay more upright. If your body is trembling in tension, come out of the pose a bit and support yourself. So we just fold to around our 75%. Today I'm feeling quite tight, so I'm not going to go as deeply as I sometimes do. And it's important to know that what was true for you yesterday or even an hour ago may not be true for you in this moment, and that's okay. And first you have to teach yourself that that's okay. Beliefs that you believed in, rules, guidelines, they may not make sense to you anymore, and it's okay to question. Whose rules and guidelines are you living in accordance to that are overmining and undermining yours? Undermining yours. Sit up nice and tall. Find a cross-legged seat. We conclude where we began, so let's just take a few minutes here to sit together in silence and listen. Anchor in your breath, soften. Maybe bringing that hand back to the belly, beneath the clothes, one hand on heart. Again, feeling yourself deeply. And here maybe is a moment for you to make a promise to yourself, an intention. It doesn't have to be grand, and it can be as well. But what are some steps, like, or what is one step that you can take each day? What is one step you can promise to your body that you're going to do to know it more deeply, to know it more intuitively, to know your truth, and to serve all parts of yourself, all the voices that live within you? What is one step that you can promise to take towards deeper wholeness and knowing of your own truth in the vaster system of 8 billion plus voices? How can you step closer to your own unique expression and truth? Because that's what we need in this world. And may we find harmony in our uniqueness and resonance with those around us so that we cause less harm, less pain. May our authenticity and our truth be purified through a clear lens in accordance to something higher than our own egoistic selves, so that we may be authentic to our truths, feel deeply into our bodies, be alive, awake, and aware, and support others to do the same, so that we may more deeply resonate in harmony with one another, even in our unique differences. Hands to heart, bowing head to heart. Deep gratitude. Hands to the earth. Thank you to this precious life. Thank you for being here. It's tea time. I feel very grateful to share these practices. They will be here every few weeks or so. I'm becoming more spontaneous in my shares so that I can be authentic and truthful in my life. And if you find these helpful, then you can always donate and give back in the ways that you can. The links below. And I think there is Wise there and a PayPal link if you desire to give back to the space. And I have started a Patreon account, which I'm very excited about. So in Patreon, I'll be doing an hour plus practice each month. And so there will be a practice there every month, and then different kind of deepenings into existential thoughts and philosophy and sharing between a smaller, intimate community for those that desire to kind of have camaraderie. There's something about just speaking to the camera alone in my space that has been beautiful and served a space for a while. But for myself, there is a deeper desire to connect with the people that are also doing these practices that are unfolding in their own depths, and to share, so that it's not just me speaking to me and that there is a deeper connection with, human family out there. So if you feel inspired to come join that intimate container, you can find all the information down below in the video's notes. And if not, I will see you when I see you on the other side. And much grace to your path.